Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Loop Learnings. This is video number 21 of School Management System, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to create bulk fee collection records. But before I do that, I must ask, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure that you do, and you have a little join button as well to support this channel also. So I have a huge library of the videos that consist of Microsoft Access and the other type of videos as well. So make sure that you check it out and you subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, let's get back to the video. So as I said, today we are going to create functionality to create bulk fee collection record. So I have created a form already. So the idea is I choose the year, I choose the month, and I hit a button. So the fee should get created for all the active students. I don't have to create one by one or class by class. It should look at what student is active, what is a class, and what the fee for each class for that particular student is. So it should automatically create that just with one click of button. So that's what we aim to achieve in this video. But before I do that, I feel like there's a lot of mix-up. Probably some of you might be thinking the approach is maybe not very clear. Well, for that I just created this little slide to explain how the process is designed and implemented. This can be improved, sure. There's always room for improvement. So, and this is the beauty of development, right? So with the passage of time, you get to know the different way of performing these similar tasks. Anyway, the process is the student arrives, a profile gets created. Whether the student will get admission or not, that's a different story, but a profile will get created. And the idea is that we create that, use that information as a cold lead, right? So profile gets created, and then after that, admission, if the student choose to proceed with the admission, then we create the admission using admission form, and we create student profile using student form. And then once the admission is created, we then get the confirmation whether student will actually take the admission, and we kind of confirm the admission, and we proceed with the fee collection record creation. And that happen automatically when students say, yep, I'm going to get admission in this institute. So automatically fee collection record gets created, and that then is collected through fee collection form. Now this was done, so this entire thing was not there until the last video. So this entire thing was not there until the last video, but I am a strong believer of continuously thinking to improve the way the things should be done. So I thought of creating this form rather than going directly here, and I'll tell you why. This form is going to be used for two purposes: to get the information from the admissions for fee collection, and to get the information from the monthly fee collection. So that's why this is like a junction for admission fee collection and monthly fee collection. So that's why I created that, and this is the form I'm talking about, right? So if the student gets admission, we confirm that, and their fee collection due record will appear here. And when we create the monthly fee collection, by the click of this button, that information also will display. So it's a one-stop shop for either admission fee collection or monthly fee collection. So that's the idea. Hopefully you got it, right? If you're not, you can ask me in the comments below. If I get time, I will answer. While we're talking about comments, there are so many comments. Thank you so much. First of all, some of you have some clarification required, the data is not appearing, or something is not working. I'm planning to create some video series to answer your questions, so that I will do it. The problem I have is I don't get time. Anyway, let's get to the video before you start getting bored, right? So as I mentioned, the idea is that with the one click of button, we want to create the fee for all the students that are active for a respective year and month. Okay, so let's do the right click. We'll go to design view. So we need two set of information. One, we need to know who are the active students, and that information we'll get it from admissions queue. And the reason I'm saying admissions queue, it's okay, it's called admissions queue, it's not called active student. It should be active student, but you can make it right. But the idea is that this query holds the information of any student that is active. Okay, so student status is active. All right, now this query I made it not in the video but off the video. So if you are someone watching this video and you're wondering where this query has come from, well, I will kind of scroll right or left, or maybe I'll minimize this so you can see all the data set that is in this query. So please do make this query. How to make the query? Well, I do have videos on how to make queries, but it's in the introductory series. Anyway, so maybe pause the video or take a screenshot of it and create this similar query called admissions queue. You want to see the design view of the query? Well, okay, this is the design view, so you can see that what tables I've used to create this query. Okay, now you should be able to create the query. All right, so I'm showing you all of this because I made it offline, not in the video. So that's the purpose I'm showing you. All right, now let's close that and let's get back to our form. So what we want is we want to get the information of, that's the number one set of data, the active students. The other set of information we want is we either can collect from fee structure query, okay, or from fee structure table. So we can use either a query or the structure query, either query or the table to get the fee structure. So we'll see. Most probably we'll use the fee structure table to get the information for each class. Anyway, so this is the two set of information we need, and we will use record sets. We will use the loop function to loop through the record set and create record for us. All right, let's go ahead and create fee. We'll click on form design, property sheet, and on click event dot. Here we go. Now in here, first of all, we will put a logic that these two combo boxes, academic year, CBO year, and CBO month, should not be empty. If they are empty, throw an error else, run the record sets. So we'll say if nz me dot CBO year equals double quote, then to cmd dot peep message box, please choose the year. Okay, so that should not be empty. Technically will be critical and comma information. Okay, that's done. Now rather than me typing all the way, so we'll select that, else paste it, and in here we just gotta change the CBO month. Okay, and instead of the year we'll say month. That's it. Let's close that with end if so we don't forget, and in between we'll have else statement. Okay, now as I said, we need two set of information. One is active student and the other one is the fee structure information. So we do that by using the record set, and to use record set, first we will declare. So how do we declare? We say dim rs students as a record set. Okay, then we want the fee structure, so we'll declare that dim rs fee structure as a record set. Now you must be thinking, oh, he's written the entire word fee structure. Well, that's my style, because over the years I realized that it makes our lives a whole lot easier because we type the entire thing. So when we review the code after a month or two, or even after a week, trust me, even after a week, you come back to your code which you have written, you will forget. So that's the best practice I follow, to write the entire thing, so when I come back I can see what's going on. Otherwise I will forget. Anyway, so now we have declared the variables. They will not do anything until unless we will tell them to do something. So first of all, we will say rs student is equal to what? So we'll say set rs student equals current db, which is current database, dot open a record set. So what record sets we are referring to? Well, we are going to get this information from admissions queue. Remember I mentioned that? Okay, so we're going to get that information from here. So we'll say admissions queue. Oh, not exclamation, queue. And we are reading the information from here. So we will comma that and we'll say db open snapshot. Okay, and we are reading the information, so db read only. Okay, there you go. Now we have successfully set the students variable. Now let's do the same for fee structure. So you know what, I'm going to copy the entire thing, paste in here, copy the fee structure, paste here, and here I'll change the query either to admissions fee structure queue, okay, or let's use fee structure queue, right? There's no harm in using query. Fee structure queue. Okay, you know what I'm thinking? We don't even need fee structure queue because we can use another thing called dsum, right? That's a cute little function in Access. So we use that. So we don't need fee structure query. What we need, however, is we take this information and we send it where? Well, that's a good question. So we send it to fee collection table. This is where we send. Okay, so we can populate this information onto this form, ListBox, right? This ListBox is based on fee collection table or fee collection query instead. So based on this information. So what we want is when we click create fee button, we want access Recordsets to go in the admission queue, get the active students information, and we want dsum function to sum the fee for each class and assign it, which I'll show later on. And the third thing we want to happen is to create the records in the fee collection table, so we can populate that onto this list box. I hope you got the idea. Okay, all right, so instead of fee structure, I'll say fee collection table, right? So rs collection, we'll just say collection, not ts, rs Recordsets. Okay, so this we'll paste here. Okay, and actually I'll write it again so you don't get confused. So set rs collection equals current db dot open record set, parenthesis open, parenthesis close, double quote, and this time we are referring to fee collection t, fee collection t. Okay, that's what we are referring to, and that's it. We don't need to give anything after that because we are in this table. We are going to add records, so that's why we don't need to give anything. Now next, what we need to do is we need to loop through these record sets. Sorry, this one, admissions queue, because we're getting the student ID for the active students. Remember, student ID for the active students. That's what we're looking for. And so if you'll see, the first column is the student ID. Okay, so we will loop through. How do we do that? Well, we'll say do until rs students dot eof. Eof is end of file, I think so. But after that you make sure that you type loop. And what do we, this is very important, please pay attention here. If you don't close the loop, it will keep running and it will create thousands of records within seconds. So you don't want that. Whenever you create loop, make sure you close that loop at the same time. Okay, so here we'll say rs students dot close. Okay, and we'll say set rs students equals nothing. Okay, oh, what happened? Where did I click? Something happened. Okay, I'll go back. Sorry, weird, that's weird. Okay, all right, so we set it as nothing. Now what we are saying to access or Recordsets, hey, go to admissions queue and loop through the records. Okay, and now access is shouting back at us saying, okay, I will loop through, what do you want me to do? Well, we will say create new record for fee collection table until the end of file for the RS student. Okay, so here we'll say RS collection dot add new, and here RS collection dot update. Okay, and here after the update, what we want is to move to the next student record. So we'll say RS students dot move next. Okay, so first of all, you set the skeleton. Okay, before you write the code in here, you set the skeleton correctly so you don't get any problem later on. So what we're doing here, let me repeat again. We're asking access Recordsets, go to RS students, which is admission queue, loop through the records. Now what you want to do when looping through the record, you create a record in the collection table. So you move to the first student record, check the information what we will write here, and create a record in the collection. And once you're done checking with the first student, then move to the next student, and you keep doing that until the end of file. That's what it is. Okay, all right, now let's add the information into the collection table. So the first thing we want looking for is student ID. So RS collection exclamation mark student ID equals to what? Equals to RS students. Okay, and student ID. I hope you are understanding. It is confusing, I must say, because the first time I was learning, for me, even still, sometimes I get confused with this looping through the records for some reason. For some people, it's very easy to pick it up. For me, it sometimes gets confusing as well. So that's okay. If you didn't understand what I said, what I did, rewind a little bit, watch it again. And how about subscribing? Yeah, while at the same time you're watching and rewatching, subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, RS collection student ID. Students exclamation mark student ID. Okay, that's the first set of information. What type of record we are creating? Well, this is not the admission, this is the monthly fee. So we'll say RS collection type equals, and because this is hard coded, so we'll say monthly fee. Okay, so something like that. So we have the identifier whether this is the admission fee or monthly fee. Okay, now what's next? Reference number. This reference number is basically used if we are creating admission record. So right now we are not creating any admission record, so we will leave it empty. Okay, and then we will move to academic year. So for which year you are creating? Okay, so RS collection exclamation mark academic year equals to me.cbo year dot column 0. So basically here what we are saying, we are saying that, well, the year whatever is selected here in the column 0, take that information. Next, it asks us to give the months information, so we'll copy the same rather than me typing over and over. So in here we'll say academic month, and in here we'll say CBO month. Okay, easy, right? Fee due. So what's the fee due? Now here is the critical part, just pay attention here. RS collection exclamation mark fee due equals, remember I said we will use a little function called dsum. So these are very good, I think they are called functions if I'm not mistaken. Dcount, dsum, dmax, use these are very little but very powerful functions. So we'll use dsum. Okay, so what we're saying, hey, look for the now we are going to refer to actually fee structure queue as well. Look for the field called fee. Okay, so double quote, and we'll say fee. It is shouting back at us. Okay, I will look for it. From where should I look? Well, you should look at fee structure queue. That's the area, that's the query. Fee structure queue, this is where you look for. comma, it is asking, hey, do you have any criteria for me to check when I'm checking? And you say, yeah, absolutely, because we have the criteria, and that's the student ID. That's the unique ID, or the class ID. Class ID is also unique. So we're not referring to student ID here. That's the unique as well, but that's for different purposes. But we are referring to class ID. So use class ID as a unique ID to create criteria. And this is how we do that. Double quote class ID equals, and make sure that you double quote here, ampersand, RS students class ID. Okay, and double quote. There you go. All right, so that's how you put a little dsum function to count or calculate, the fee for each class for the student. Now the next thing what we want is, we're looking for, after the class ID in the fee collection table, fee collected. Of course, we are not collecting anything now, so that remains empty. The balance also will come automatically, and the status. So status and status date. So we'll say rs collection exclamation mark status, and the status is new. Okay, so later it will turn to completed when the fee is collected. And then the status date, rs collection exclamation mark status date equals format now, and we'll put a format here, date, month, year. Okay, there we go. That's it. That's the columns. We need to fill it up. So we'll move it here, and then we'll move we will close this rs collection as well, the way we did for the student. So we'll say rs collection dot close, set rs collection equals nothing, and once these are closed, then we'll throw a message box giving confirmation that, hey, it's done. Do cmd dot beep message box, the fee collection for the month of, and we'll go a little one step beyond. Okay, month of, so I'll say which month, right? So me.cb month dot column 1 has been created. Okay, and this is a success, so we'll say it's vb information, not cb, it's vb information comma information. All right, that is done. So it's time to test it out. Hopefully it works. Fingers crossed. Let's debug. There's no error as of now. We'll only get to know once this will work. So let's close it, and we open it back. Let's test it out. So it says please choose a year. Great. It should give another error, please choose a month. Great. So until now it's working. So August. Now if our code is correct, it should go and fetch the information from admission queue, and it should loop through from admission queue, and it should do the dsum from the fee structure query, and it should create records for us. That's all. Oh, by the way, one more thing we need to do is we need to refresh this query after the records are created. Otherwise we will not see anything, and then we will assume, oh, it didn't work. Anyway, so we'll come here, we'll do a little requery, mirror list dot requery. There you go. Okay, all right, let's close that. Time to do the testing. Okay, so let's create for August. There you go. The fee collection for the month of August. Now you know why I've written that message, right? Month of August, because it has picked information from this combo box, has been created. Great, awesome. So you can see that every student has a different fee, right? So for the class 6, there is 2,320, right? For class 8, 2,720. I think 2 students, yeah. Class 7, 2,520. So that seems to be working very, very well. All right, so the fee collection, this is how you create the bulk record. Now the next step is, if I double click here, because remember in the presentation I shown that this step was not completely there. From here we used to go directly here, and that was not the right way. I mean, it was right, but it was not the most efficient. So because we want to get the monthly fee information, we want to get the admission information, admission fee collection information here as well. So that's the idea. All right, now what I will do in the next video, I'm going to kind of close this fee collection and fee processing form. So in this video we created the bulk fees, and in the next video we will close the loop by collecting this fee, so we can finish this fee collection topic and move on to the next one. And hopefully I'll make next video very soon, so I promise I'll try my level best. But if you like whatever you've seen, please make sure that you consider subscribing to the channel, and if you want to support, please make sure that you join the channel. I'm planning, in fact, to have some video tutorials about Microsoft Lists, the Power Automate, SharePoint, SQL. So a whole lot of things I have planned, and so I already have a big library of the videos for Microsoft Access. So do subscribe and show some support by joining the channel as well. That is it from my side. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.